My name's Guy Kestevan. I've been a professional bike and kit tester for over 25 years. And today I'm riding super interesting Rotwild R.X275 ultralight downcountry e-bike. So the hell's a downcountry e-bike? Well, why should you consider buying this one? You can tell you're in Italy when the climb up is called spaghetti, but this should be a really good showcase of this bike because designed around 130mm fork, 120mm rear travel, and a super light, like properly wafer thin carbon frame. When you see this without the motor in, the down tube is super thin and bare frame. It's only 1,850 grams, which is, you know, cross-country bike weight. But Rotwild, Red Deer in German, have always been a big name in the ultralight XC bike market. So they know a thing or two about creating a really sweet climbing bike. And on this one, although the name's slightly confusing, 275, not sure why they went with that, because certainly hasn't got 27.5 wheels. It's a twin 29er, and the battery, which is bespoke to them, specially shaped, even has little cable grooves in it, so it acts as its own cable guide, again to keep that frame really light and simple. That's only 250 watt hours, although you can get a plug-in bottle cage style extender that adds 160 watt hours, and that attaches by the Fidlock magnetic system, so it's really good and secure. And that's also how the bottle attaches above it, so you can either run twin Fidlock bottles or run the extra battery and still get a Fidlock bottle in there. I mean, to be honest, the lasses from TQ pointed out you can actually even run the bike without the main battery in, just with the range extender for a super light setup, although pulling the battery out does involve removing the motor as well. So, you know, it's not a quick thing to do, it's kind of a servicing job. But this is the Pro spec bike, so the lower specs of the two models. Comes with XT, GT Swiss hybrid wheels, conventional bar and stem. Retails for €9,500. Weighs in 17.1 kilos with pedals. On my scales, that's not claimed weight for the complete bike, with a motor and battery in. And the Ultra version, which is XTR versus XT, Fox factory throughout, that weighs 15.5 kilos without pedals, which is an insanely low weight. And as you can see, that makes for pretty rapid progress up. Certainly a varying gradient climb like this, because the TQ is tuned, so the default setting is 200 watts rather than 300, which is what Trek and Scott use on their TQ bikes. But if you've not spotted it already, I've not even used it yet, there's a little red ring button here, which when you press it, well, hey, instantly gives you, for as long as you hold it down, 300 watts of boost. And that boost button will give you 30 seconds before it needs a 3-second rest. But for little switchback climbs like this are just accelerating out of any situation. You've got a proper kick. But otherwise, should have employed it there really rather than gearing down. They said it would take a while to get used to the kind of advantages of the system. Let's give it a go. Yep. Here we go. There's a little bit of lag. It's not quite instant, either that or I'm just slowing down too much, so it doesn't pick up from right down in the rev range. But once I've got the noise cancelling off the video, you'll be able to hear it's pretty much silent, and I'm running it in the highest of the 3 natural boost modes at the moment. Got 3 levels, and they're all kind of rider matching. So when you pedal hard, it gives you more assist, and obviously, but the lower the mode, the more you have to pedal before you get that assist. And that can all be changed in the TQ smartphone app, as you'd hope. But I have to say, the whole machine is just super neat, incredibly low profile. You genuinely would not know it was an e-bike. I know there's a lot of that said these days, but this really is outstanding in that respect. And you wouldn't know it was an e-bike in the handling as well. You got 66-degree head angle, 75.5 degree seat angle. Yeah, I think it's just a rev thing, because when I'm coming in super slow, it's not giving me that boost. You know, which are good angles for a 100, 130, 120 mil bike. That's what kind of the bikes I tested for MBR recently averaged out at. Keeps it agile. See, there we go. With the revs in the pedals, you can really feel that surge. And the one, you know, surprising thing is a really long reach as well. Well, comparatively for the category, 480 mil on this large, 460 on a medium. Currently just 3 sizes up. Like I say, have got to get used to that boost there. It actually is enough to pop the front wheel and throw me wide. What was I saying? But there's an XL planned for bigger riders as well. And considering Rotwild are a small company, very impressive. The level of detailing, and so far the suspension feels really sorted as well. Again, I mean, I've only been climbing on it, but it feels like an appropriately efficient, yet, you know, there's enough traction here. As you can see, the trails took a lot of rain last night, so it's pretty greasy. And I've only got a Schwalbe Wicked Wheel on the back. Plus I'm pedaling in flats today because properly blew my ankle up on a stupid stumble fall yesterday. So hence some more dabs and, you know, screw ups. So I'm not actually clipped onto the bike like I normally am, but so far the bike, apart from that one stall back there, I'm really forgiving of that, and it just feels totally natural. I am aware I'm going through that 250 watt hour battery capacity pretty quick though. Not been riding long, only been riding almost completely uphill, but already down to 73%. So I think this is the smallest battery. No, I think for some of the Fazua bikes, for this small to start with. But yeah, it's a really small capacity battery. But the neat thing about that TQ extender is it's rigged so it will always burn through that cell first. So you can run that one flat, and then if you're doing laps, you just drop that battery where you're about to head back down again, and then you've got the super clean, super light system to work with from there. And you've got 3 shock modes on this DPS shock, but it's perfectly happy just pedaling in the open mode. There's a bit of bob on smooth surfaces that might make you want to move it into pedal or, you know, fully firm, but as it is, sits really well even in open mode.
While I'm up here, I've got to just give you a quick show around. Is this not the best trail top hut? Trail Brothers, guys? This is just freaking awesome.
American brands at the time. Yeah.
Don't sit down and go near the fire though, because you are not going to leave. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, man.
So the geometry is really sorted for this category of bike as well. So you got 66-degree head angle, and you got 75.5 degree seat angle to keep you forwards. Then you got nice long 485mm reach. Whoop, too much boost, overshot the corner. And then what really helps, I mean, this TQ motor is super compact, but what really helps this bike stay agile is the fact it's got 437mm back end, but it's still got reasonable tire clearance. So, well, that's what you get on a conventional bike. Really impressive in terms of keeping it tucked in and moving around on these pretty twisty technical trails. And because they're just using that little bespoke rechargeable ring shifter on the bars, there's no display, so that keeps it really clean. And on the integrated cockpit, you've got the option to run the controls actually through the headset, or you can run them through the frame like they are on this bike. So the whole setup's really clean. You've just got that display down there on the top tube, and you can configure that for different kind of data depending what you want to see. One nice feature is that you can get wattage feedback, because I think kind of rider who's attracted to a bike like this may well want to know how much they're working as well as how much the motor is working, you know, if they're running a training plan or something like this, because it's a great assistance tool, whatever level of fitness at. But I think that shorter travel, lighter weight, and the fact that you're not getting a ton of drive from it will really appeal to, like, maybe the cross-country distance crowd. Okay. Oh, this is so much greasier than yesterday. I've got my limited slip differential unlocked out. But actually, considering I have an ankle like an aubergine, it's handling those drops pretty well. It's a flex stay system with the flex point right back down.
Are you trying to stop and take a nap?
But it's definitely on the efficiency rather than super plush side, but still good control. Now it's sorting out this joint really well. And that 66-degree head angle also proving a friend, whether he's a zero grip and not a whole ton of natural confidence. I think now we're onto the more slow trail. Takes the chicken run, which ends up being much sketchier. Why is that so often the case? When you're riding blind, you go, oh, I'll go around the jump, and it's like the nastiest, nadgeriest option.
6-foot two-wheel drift. Split in just like.
Oh hell. Okay. And I'm behind Dane from Gyro Zero. He's doing the hops and the pops. And you know, you you kind of don't really need to say it's zero drag these days. Most motors are like that, but it's zero drag. So it's got that in its favor as well. It's actually pretty stiff considering having seen this frame, knowing how little carbon there is in it. Front end's actually pretty stiff. And this version runs performance rather than factory spec shocks, so there's a little more kick there. I'm actually running them pretty firm too, but yeah, this is a fun bike, really fun bike. And obviously this part of the trail, I'm not losing any battery at all, so I'm just flowing and going. Oh, I haven't ridden flat pedals in a long time. Whoa! So I've got Liat's new flat pedal all-weather shoe on, which I'll do a review on later, and yeah, really grounded. We've lost one. And there's a little blip of boost. Engaging the red button. We've got low tire pressure now up front, which is theoretically a good thing. Oh, this is sweet trail. I mean, this is exactly the kind of trail a bike like this feels really good on. You know, that tight back end, just enough travel, and you know, they've really thought the detailing on the spec as well, because it's got a chainstay mounted. Come on, eat my motor, Dane. Because it's got that flex seat stay and the flex is at the bottom. Then obviously brake jack could be an issue in that situation, so they've used a flat mount, side mount to give it plenty of space, but also they've only fitted a 180mm rotor on the rear, so it's not as much braking torque, so still feels pretty neutral. Ah, this boy's a shredder. Ridden with Dane for fucking decades. Used to be the young gun on Bike Magazine back in the day. Went to WTB. Now I've been at Giro like 14 years, so shout out to Giro. And their most excellent product range, of which I'll be bringing to you some shoe news. Does the embargo on those shoes come out before or after this bike? I can't remember. I'm seeing a lot this week at Bike Connection, so have a good scroll through the channel to see a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, including these SQ Labs gloves I'm wearing with a little pop top mitten flap deal going on, and some of their other gloves. Loads of kit in play in Tuscany. These Trail Brothers trails, freaking sick. Ah, I want one of these trails back home. And this is where that, you know, although I am chewing through the battery pretty quick. What are we on now? Like 58. This is where having that battery will be kind of maybe the difference between getting 3 runs in or 5 runs in rather than 2 or 3 on a lunchtime ride, or you know, when you press for time. Woo! Hey! Yeah, but geometry is, wait, sorry, I wasn't sure where that was going. Geometry is fly. I mean, small brands don't even have like UK distribution at the moment. It used to back in the day. I was saying to them, do my usual old fart thing where it's like, oh yeah, we had a Rotwild on the cover of Maximum Mountain Bike in 1999. And they're like, oh my god, you're so old. Your lines over roots are so bad. I mean, they didn't say that, but you can say that after watching that segment. But yeah, it carries through on the roots really well. Certainly doesn't feel unbalanced either. Whoop. Okay, make it steady. Make it steady, kid. Whoa, yeah. That wicked wheel is running a tube in the back, so I've kept the pressure high in that, and that is making it pretty snaky. Oh, and the other thing, it's got a transfer SL dropper post, so really nice, simple, binary, fast, up, down, big clunk, so you know it's come up, action, and just enough boost there, and kept away from the trigger. It's all good. I mean, Dane's running more travel than me, but that boy is hauling. Really looking forward to trying that score bike tomorrow, but for a short travel bike, woo! Catch you, monkey. This has been awesome for an up and down run mission. Great little first ride weapon, this. I mean, I was definitely super skeptical when I was seeing that battery life ebbing away, but the motor software means as soon as you get to 10%, it kind of goes into limp mode, so you're always going to have plenty of charge left. You really do get a bunch of riding left, a bunch of bonus riding for your battery life. Yes, 57% still. So, you know, easily another trip up the hill. But the thing that really stands out on this bike, whether you're on the flat or descending or climbing, is just how agile and easy it is to maneuver around. And that's the obvious massive strength of this bike. It's a proper little toy, but with a really efficient power boosted climbing vibe. And having that little instant boost button there, even though I'm, you know, not really used to where it is yet, it's just so much better than kind of the little throttle blip moments on roller coaster trails like this than a kind of full mode change where you're like, you know, and that just seems more responsive, more fun, more, it's just something about the presentation of it that just seems more instant, more peppy, poppy, short travel appropriate way of doing things, rather than just automatically like boosting up the power levels and sitting there constantly toggling backwards and forwards. It's just proper on-demand power. Many good things about this RX275. Kind of done the filming and I should jump on another bike, but I want to take this one again if I'm honest, which is always a good sign, isn't it? Always a good sign. Are we heading to Rome? It seems like a long way back. Yeah.
Most of it's time. You want to know that.
So I was going to do a quick tech talk round up on the top of the trails, but the bike got absolutely filthy, so I've just taken it to hose it off. So let's have a quick look at the details now. I mean, as you can see, the highlight has to be that super slim down tube. I mean, that just does, I mean, that's slimmer than a lot of conventional bikes. Then you got, you know, really flat, kind of almost Mondraker style top tube. Then you got the display on there, and that's your on, off and mode button there. And then moving on to the bars, that's that twist little ring boost button there that I've been using to give me some extra power up the climbs. See, extended seat mast, but you know, in terms of geometry, like I say, 66-degree head angle, 75.5-degree seat angle. Plenty of extension there on the seat post, but you can still run a long dropper. I mean, this has got a 150mm stroke transfer SL in it at the moment. And then running down here, you got float DPS performance shock. Got a really neat little linkage setup there, and then these curved square section flex stays all the way down there. Big beefy chain stays with a nice little toothed chain slap protector there. You know, well covered. Main pivot there, and then tucked in under here, the TQ motor. Super compact, super light, and then you've got that accentuated lean back on the seat tube there. But the actual back end in terms of chainstay from that low pivot to rear axle, only 437mm. So super agile and poppy geometry. You know, there's your charging port there, sits under there, and like I say, 2 Fidlock bottle mounts as well, and either cheek of the head tube cable mounting there, or you can run it internally if you have the integrated bar. Like I say, this Pro model has a sort of conventional bar setup. This is 34 on the front, 130mm travel, 120 on the back. It's a fit fork, which, to be fair, I always prefer a grip damper in a Fox 34. It's noticeable how much kind of rougher and more rigid that felt descending, but back end to front end balance, really, really good. Really neat setup. And flipping it round, you've got a really good view of that TQ motor. You can see just how small and compact it is. And then you've got E13 cranks. It's alloy in this bike. On the top spec model, you get a carbon crank. Again, those big chainstays leading back to that neat little flat mount XT there. And then that flex section on the seat stays. And that neat little forged and CNC machined rocker linkage on the top there.
So there we go, Rotwild's R.X275. Obviously super quick review, just literally up the hill and back down again, but hopefully it's giving you an insight into the tech behind the bike, some of the features on it, and a decent idea of how well this superlight e-bike rides. I mean, it's obviously quite a niche product, certainly with that, you know, limited battery capacity, but with the range extender, you're getting up to more mid-capacity bikes, and there's certainly enough power to make a significant difference in what you can climb, whether that's in short bursts on climbs, technical climbs, or in terms of sort of, you know, what you can fit into a lunch hour ride or any other time restricted day out. But yeah, really, really neat bike with tons of interesting features that rides really damn well, and that appears to be the kind of consensus opinion from all the other media I've been chatting to here at Bike Connection. But massive thanks to Rotwild for loaning me the bike for test. Sorry about the bar ends. Massive thanks to Bike Connection Agency for inviting me out there. Huge thanks as always to my Patreon subscribers whose names are scrolling up on the screen now. They get early, exclusive and extended edits as a thank you, and they get them ad-free as a thank you for donating on a monthly basis to help with the upkeep of the channel. Thanks to my channel sponsors Eurocycling UK, Petey's Products, Talk Nutrition, Crud XL Fenders, and Hebtro Co. Thanks to all those guys for getting behind the channel. But the main thing is that if you've enjoyed it, if you've not subscribed, subscribe, click for notifications, and give it a thumbs up press if you want to see more of them, because the more I get of those, the more YouTube will share it. But for now, I've been Guy Kesterman on Guykes TV, talking about the radical ultralight Rotwild R.X275. Ciao.